most successful individuals in a particular industry, and then love you unconditionally. So it's an amazing opportunity. There's somebody who's done amazingly well over time, who's exceptionally invested in my success, and does everything he can to prepare me from a knowledge perspective, from an emotional perspective, from an experiential perspective, to excel in real estate. So,
well, I mean, there's no doubt that there are a lot of benefits to it, but, you know, it can be a driver to really strive and to follow and, you know, follow in his footsteps. But it can also, you know, you could also have a desire to really blaze your own trail. You know, everyone, you know, can take a situation like this differently. You know, like, do you want to follow in his footsteps, or you want to blaze your own trail? Like, what do you?
I think both, right? I think, you know, on one hand, set such a great example. He's done particular sorts of projects in particular ways. And so, you know, you follow the example and follow the ethos, but your execution can be different. You know, my father focuses primarily on luxury hospitality and luxury condominium developments, whereas my focus is primarily affordable housing.
Right.
But we do it the same way. And all the lessons that he learned over his 35 years developing hotels, I apply to my own deals. And maybe the financing structure is a little different. The size, of course, is very different. But the path to getting what you want, to achieving something that's beneficial for you, the developer, and the community as a whole, is still the same. And in my mind, I think the challenges that my father had to grapple with in developing in neglected urban environments, right? You know, in the late 70s, right, onwards to the 2000s, and you saw this sort of massive piece of downtown renewals, where historically those downtowns were, you know, underdeveloped, vacant, and, you know, it was sort of very, very economically challenged. So he had to develop an inhospitable environment. And very, very often that's true for affordable housing.
I was going to say, so with you in affordable housing, you're definitely looking at emerging markets. I mean, those are, you know, the areas that you would be looking at as well. So I heard a little birdie, or not so little birdie, kind of a big birdie, told me that you made your first $2 million on your own this year.
Who told you that?
I have my sources.
We had closed a capital event 2 Mondays ago, and you know, we brought in a really, really great partner on one of our global transactions for the work with them. So yeah, big step, and hopefully more of that. But I think the big focus for me, you know, isn't necessarily the dollars and cents, but delivering complete projects to communities that share the standard of excellence that we bring to market projects. You know, when, you know, there's a particular attention to detail that's necessary, that we're catering to the wealth. Goodness, when you're catering to the most wealthy demographic among us, but you know, I like to take that same attention to detail and nuance when you're developing affordable housing as well. I think that's a key differentiator between you know, what we aspire to do.
So affordable housing, where is your focus in any particular city, or all of them?
Now it's in Washington, D.C. It's expanding rapidly. So we're looking at developments in Jersey, we're looking at Charlotte, we're looking at Boston, and in all of these municipalities, even with like the fiscal crisis that they're experiencing, are exceptionally invested in affordable housing and are looking for any and every way to support developers in creating housing for working class people, which is something that the market has failed to do over time.
So as of mid-May, I read that there is, I think, what is it, $10 billion in dry powder, you know, from real estate funds, distressed real estate funds. So where would you feel, I mean, I think your answer is going to be affordable housing. Where would you feel that is the best, what would be the best strategy where should we allocate those funds as an investor and a developer? Where should those funds be allocated?
Absolutely. And
affordable housing.
I think affordable housing is more capitalized. And I don't think that affordable housing owners have experienced the same sort of vacancy and collection loss issues But I would say if there's dry powder sitting on the sidelines and they're looking for a return, I don't think development is the space now. I think there's a ton of on-price risk in multifamily commercial cash flows, and that folks should be looking for significant distress and an opportunity to add that. And so what does that mean? I think depending on your perspective, with the nature of changes in consumer behavior, New York City becomes a very, very compelling option because there are real questions as to whether or not New York is going to remain a viable place for real estate dollars. I think the same is true for big urban dense gateway cities. So Los Angeles is another one where there are big questions. And for an astute investor who has a more bullish perspective on those sort of big gateway cities, I think that's a good opportunity. Conversely, if you've got a more bearish perspective, and I think I mentioned that, then I would look at suburban multifamily or single family rentals in suburban or ex-urban niches. So, as folks are relatively disillusioned, move out of city centers, are able to work from home more extensively, aren't as concerned about commute times, and they're much more wary about large gatherings. I think it's sort of big shift out of urban America and into suburban or exurban communities that have some degree of cultural vibrancy, but nothing that sort of compares to what they left behind in certain borders.
Well, and are you comfortable with development now, as opposed to maybe repositioning existing assets that are distressed as a result of the pandemic?
I stay away from development. I think core plus and value add is really where you want to sit. I think there are opportunistic plays in suburban markets that don't necessarily have the housing stock necessary to support the influx of demand. But I think there are those opportunities with few and far between. And I focus on creating land value within those plays.
And it makes a lot of sense. Now that you're speaking about the suburban market, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, people are really tired of being in the cities, especially now with everything that's going on. And there is this draw to go into suburbia. And not everyone can necessarily afford the houses. So multifamilies in the suburban market it's brilliant. Didn't even think of that. But it makes a lot of sense. I think that there's a real draw to the suburban market now, as opposed to being in the city, especially that you can work from home. So there's no reason.
Exactly. I think commercial office space is for a reckoning, particularly in certain environments. You start realizing that these firms that are going to have people working from home for a quarter and a half, and they're not going to realize significant productivity declines. They're going to see an increase in employee morale, and likely an increase in working hours as people are trading a portion of their commute time to additional productivity. And so all of those things,
hopefully,
realize it, and they can save on fixed expenses. Why not? Have a robust work from home program. There are certainly industries where that's not applicable, but for the vast majority of knowledge workers, there's not a material difference from working in your office and your home environment versus transporting yourself to a physical building.
Yeah, we've been forced to live that way now, and I think more and more employers are realizing that they can actually function this way. For the most part. And I'm also thinking there's also the possibility that they would have to or they could hire people from out of state. Let's say with New York, for example. New York's very expensive. If employers started hiring people that are out of state that they could pay less to, that could happen as well.
No, and you're absolutely right. I think that the job markets will become much more competitive as hiring pools become national or even international in some sense. We'll be searching for the most talented folks regardless of geography, and the requisite pay increases that people would look for relocation in the higher cost of living areas like San Francisco won't necessarily be as robust because they'll have the option of telecommuting from Santa Fe, New Mexico, or Charlotte, North Carolina. Both communities with much more manageable cost of living.
So now, what do you think happens with all of this? I've spoken to people that have tremendous offices, and they don't need that much office space anymore. They're realizing that a lot of their back office can work from home. So now I'm thinking, okay, if they own it, if it's an office condo, they can rent a portion of it, make some money back, have, maybe create, shared executive suites, in like the Regis, WeWork, that sort of style. So I guess that'll be even stronger.
I think like this like primacy of the idea of exceptionally large and robust office space that sort of underscores or like that communicates some sort of values. And I don't think that's like the germane part of corporate evaluations anymore. I think maybe 1980s, 1990s, you wanted to walk into product and see your corporate logo splashed across a black background.
And you don't feel it's like that anymore.
No, I don't think so. It's the same way you don't see younger entrepreneurs wearing watches, right? You don't see a lot of folks with Pateks or Rolexes on under 35.
Right.
Because the status symbols have changed.
Right.
And then you look at sort of the new crop of entrepreneurs, and they're not wearing the Gordon Gekko power suit anymore. So I think sort of these trophy office spaces are going to go the way of some of those other sort of cultural norms.
Yeah. So existing office spaces, though, I mean, if for whomever is leasing, they'll more than likely, reduce the amount of space that they're taking. But if they own it, what would you suggest that they do? Like in an office condo situation, if they own.
I think at that point you're subdividing space and you're looking for smaller creditworthy tenants that are interested in utilizing the conference facilities, utilizing your space to convert into some sort of small group focused co-working. I think that there's going to be a chasm in the marketplace from big co-working, behemoths like Regis and WeWork, these large sort of hot desk open space floor plans that would unduly expose tons of people to pathogens, to smaller, more exclusive, community-based co-working spaces where small groups of 6 to 8 and they're surrounded by other sort of like-minded or industry-similar corporations. So it'll function, I think, a lot more like a business incubator and a lot less like a filing cabinet for young professionals. So
I'm going to touch back on some of the things that you do. I know that you're very philanthropic, and I thought that actually ties in with the affordable housing that you do. Your philanthropies are Harlem Mothers Save.
That's definitely right.
Yeah, which is stop. Oh my gosh, it was a violent end. Yes. And which is incredible. I was reading up on that. And then you also have Best Buddies. You work with Best Buddies and the New York City Mission Society, right? So, yeah, those are the things.
My mother's the co-chair of the New York City Mission Society.
Oh, okay.
Largest chair of organization, or the oldest chair of organization.
Are they really?
Yeah, that's what she tells me. So I think
believe your mom.
But Best Buddies is by far the most rewarding.
Okay. Tell us about it.
Essentially, you're paired with an individual with intellectual disability, and you're their friend. And it's lovely. I have my best buddy these days, Anthony. A few of the folks who are.
I hope Anthony's watching. Hey, Anthony.
I don't think he's watching, but a few of my friends who are on this Instagram Live have met him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And hung out with him. Tons of fun.
That's so cool. How old is he?
Story that's terrible. So I didn't play a ton of video games when I was younger, so I was very bad at them. Anthony had very good at them. And we needed things to do in the cold weather. Because usually in the summer we play basketball, we go outside, take a game arcade, go to the movies, whatever it is. We needed something to do when it was cold, and so I bought a PlayStation 4 and Madden, and I'm pretty competitive. And I remember the first day we played, Anthony beat me 49-0. Like,
oh my! It's like crushed you. For a competitive person, that's hard.
And I just remember just being like very competitive, like trying to keep it in, because he felt bad about being so bad. But people say, "Oh, it's charity." I honestly just want to look at it that way.
No, it's different. Well, you know what? But what's beautiful about charity is you're also getting something out of it. You're giving, and you're also getting, because you get this great feeling. I'm also philanthropically involved. I have a group called Divas Philanthropic Business Leaders that I started, and the core is women, and we're working with Safe Horizon. which is the hotline for domestic violence. It's based out of New York City. So I think it's so important to always be aware and to give back. And I love the Best Buddies because it's so, you actually have that one-to-one that you typically don't have. A lot of these charities, you're giving to an organization, you're helping everyone as a whole, which you want to. But in this case with Best Buddies, you're really connecting one-to-one with Anthony, and that's lovely. That's really, really nice. That's something that he'll have with him forever. It's not just helping to pay for something, it's actually changing someone's life through experiences, which is a beautiful thing. So you said you're competitive. When did you first recognize that you're competitive?
Oh man, it's been a lifelong affliction, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Probably when I was very young, losing to my father in one-on-one basketball was heartbreaking. So much so that for the interest of legal stability, probably not too much. But I think that being competitive is important, right? But I think being collaborative is more important, particularly.
Being collaborative is ideal in this business, but being competitive is a necessity sometimes as well. I mean, it's a lot of what gets you to where you are.
Of course, and then there's always sort of this balance between two ideals. But capitalism is set up in such a way that it should create mutually beneficial circumstances. And if you're collaborative and you work together with others and create those mutually beneficial circumstances, I think you do exceptionally well. And particularly in real estate, where as developers, we're not technically proficient in pretty much anything, right? We're the movie directors, so we don't hold the camera, we don't act in the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
We're not producing. I mean, we have a vision and we execute, but we rely on so many professionals, from the architects, your MEP engineers, structural, civil. You got your GC, all the various subs. I mean, you really rely on so many other people, and the ability to do that well, and the ability to sort of galvanize those folks towards a singular objective is, in my opinion, the most valuable characteristic that a developer can have. So much of the work we do today relies on something I like to call discretionary effort, where people can try hard enough not to get fired, and consultants can try hard enough not to get to go. But there's a big difference between where that ends up and where excellence is. Mm-hmm. And this gap here, right, is what leadership is about. And if you're a compelling leader and someone who people want to believe in, then you'll get this extra effort. And that's sort of what I shoot for.
So, you're talking about a collaborative effort. I have to make sure that I thank all the sponsors, because actually the sponsors are all collaborators with you. And so I'm going to go through the list of them, but I want to keep talking to you because this is more important, and I want to make sure that we get it all in. You mentioned basketball. So I know that you played varsity, or you were coaching the varsity team for your high school?
So I played varsity basketball throughout high school. And when I went to college, my freshman year of college, I coached. I was an assistant coach at the high school varsity at the high school I just graduated from. So in effect, I got to go back to practice and hang out.
That's probably where your competitive spirit started. You're playing competitive ball, right? So, and what's your favorite team?
Probably the Miami Heat. I grew up in Miami. Wherever you are in fourth grade is the team that you play.
Wherever you are when? In fourth grade, you said?
In fourth grade. Well, wherever you're 10, that's the team you root for the rest of your life.
Is that the rule?
Yeah,
oh, cool. And no bandwagon. Like that Miami Heat, doesn't matter. Forget Washington, forget New York.
There's no reason to be a bandwagon because we have such sustained periods of excellence.
They are a great team. I'm in Miami now. Are you in Miami now, or are you still up north?
I'm actually in Bridgehampton.
Oh, okay.
So I'm at our place in Bridgehampton, weathering the storm, looking to go back to Manhattan.
It's eerie. I think everything is opening there June 6th, but everyone who's sending me pictures, I've been in Miami weathering the storm. this week, quite literally, it's been biblical rain all week, but it still felt like the right place to be. But it's incredible to see the pictures of Times Square and all these areas in New York that were so bustling and so busy, and it's just eerie. It's a ghost town. It's like that energy isn't there, but I think it'll return very quickly. I think once everyone is jonesing for things to open, people are flying down here from New York a lot now. I mean, literally, every week I keep getting text messages too, and a lot of people relocating. So, how do you feel about what'll develop with business here in terms of real estate?
Absolutely. I think Southwood is ripe for continued expansion. It's a low tax state with relatively high quality of life. We've already seen the state of Florida gain something like 600,000 residents per year between 2017 and 2019. I think that trend will increase relatively significantly.
Mm-hmm.
For what that's worth, that's like the entire city of Washington, D.C. moving down the state of Florida.
It's crazy. Well, we were having an influx already, because of the tax benefits, and now coupled with this and the quality of life and that you can work remotely, it's anyone who is sitting on the fence is really pulling the trigger now, and they're making the move, and that's what I'm seeing. So now that it's a little safer to move around and things have opened up, I'm seeing a lot of requests for relocation. How is that going to play out though, here in terms of, I mean, how is it going to play out here in terms of housing? I think that people will probably be looking more at houses. You and I have discussed this more so than living in condominiums. I think that's a bit of a draw. But what happens here, for example, with the hospitality industry, right? We're talking the hospitality industry. Go ahead.
I think, and I apologize, this may have to be one of our final questions.
Yeah.
I know we're running out of time. But I think hospitality is in trouble for the time being. Until there's incredible treatment of vaccine, I think the travelers are going to be very, very hesitant to stay in places, facilities, and I don't think it's feasible to run a hotel given the current sort of COVID-19 restrictions. So I think hospitality has got to sort of dig into the long here.
Mm-hmm.
Folks who can hold on to their assets will sit down. Otherwise, there'll be a sharp reduction in supply and to the spoils, to the winter to the spoil. So folks who can't hold on will be able to dictate rates and see if we increase occupancy. Let's run the other side of this.
So I know that you and your dad have spoken at RED, and so I want to just mention that the RED event that was scheduled is going to be, they're rescheduling it, due to the pandemic, I think late August or September. And spoiler alert, but no surprise that, that you're being awarded the Young Real Estate Developer of the Year award. I know that both you and your dad have spoken there, so we're looking forward to that come end of the summer. And as soon as that date is determined, it'll be shared. So looking forward to seeing you there. Have you enjoyed the RED events? Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.